comment down below where you're from or if you've ever experienced anything this absurd, because what I went through was beyond ridiculous. Honestly, I don't even care anymore. This Karen rattled my nerves so badly that I had to get this off my chest. So buckle up, folks, because this story spirals out of control faster than raccoons scrapping over stale pizza crusts. My name is Nathaniel Brooks, and this is the tale of how an innocent pool party request turned into a full-blown circus, complete with racist officers, federal intervention, and a Karen who probably thinks she invented sunlight. It started on a peaceful Saturday morning. I was enjoying my usual quiet cup of coffee on the back deck, basking in the sweet joy of not doing yard work, when the doorbell rang. I've always believed unscheduled visits are the devil's work, but being polite to a fault, I went to the door. Standing there was Clara Wainscott. I'd seen her at HOA meetings, the type of woman whose permanent facial expression screamed dissatisfaction. Her face that morning looked like she'd bathed in vinegar. "Nathaniel, isn't it?" she asked, her voice soaked in syrupy sarcasm only true Karens can conjure. "I need to ask you a favor." My internal alarm blared. "Morning, Clara. What can I do for you?" I asked, already dreading the answer. "Well, my sweet Parker is turning 10 next Saturday, and he adores your pool. It's so private. Private because I built a 10-foot privacy fence specifically to avoid neighbors like her." "Okay," I said, treading carefully. "So, I was wondering if you'd let us host Parker's party here. We'd of course compensate you." She said that last part like she was gifting me a kidney. "Clara, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I have plans next Saturday," I said, omitting that those plans included horror B-movies and a box of Twinkies. "So I'll have to say no." Her expression soured instantly. The phone niceness evaporated. "Decline? But Parker really wants it here. It's the best pool in the neighborhood. Are you seriously denying a child his birthday wish?" "With all due respect, Clara, this is my private property, not a community park. There's a public pool, or even Chuck E. Cheese." She narrowed her eyes. "Are you sure? It's just for a few hours. The kids will behave. You're not using it anyway. Don't be a jerk." That did it. "Clara," I said with a tight smile, "I'm not a jerk, but I am declining. I have important things on the schedule, and my time is worth more than you can afford." I gently closed the door in her face. That's when I heard her yell, "You'll regret this, Nathaniel Brooks. You haven't heard the last of Clara Wainscott." I rolled my eyes. Typical. I went back to my coffee, amused more than anything. I should have known better. An hour later, I heard sirens. 2 police cruisers parked outside my house. I peeked through the blinds, heart racing. Was this a prank? A loud knock. I opened the door to find 2 officers, Brenner and Castillo, looking like they were busting in on a drug ring. "Nathaniel Brooks?" asked Officer Brenner. "Yeah," I replied. "We've received a complaint. You're accused of denying access to your pool for discriminatory reasons," said Castillo. I blinked. "You're kidding, right?" "She called the police over a pool party." "Sir, we're just following up on a complaint." MS. Wainscott claims racial discrimination. My jaw dropped. What the actual no? I said no to a pool party on my property. That's it. Right then, Clara emerged, smug as ever. "He's lying, officers. He said hateful things about my family. He hates children. He's prejudiced." I was speechless. "Clara, you're out of your mind." All I said was, "I don't allow strangers in my backyard." "That's it." "Sir, please calm down," said Brenner, hand near his holster. "We're just investigating." "Investigating what?" "The nerve of this woman is beyond reason. You're wasting time." They kept pressing, suggesting I consider the kids, that I do the right thing. The situation spiraled. I could feel the unspoken bias, a black man defending his rights seen as hostile. Clara beamed. I took a deep breath. "Look, officers, I'm not breaking any laws. I'm exercising my property rights. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to make a call." I shut the door and called the one person who could shut this circus down, my older brother, Julian Brooks. Julian wasn't just any brother. He was the brother, the golden child who became an FBI assistant director before age 40. Calm, brilliant, and utterly unstoppable. "Julian," I said as he picked up, I need you. Now. I explained the mess. His silence was cold and precise. Give me the officers' names, their badge numbers, and your address. I did. What are you going to do? Remind them of what abuse of power means. Sit tight. Say nothing. 15 minutes later, 3 black SUVs rolled up. Out stepped Julian and half a dozen federal agents. The officers went pale. Julian approached them, flashing his badge. Officers Brenner and Castillo. I'm Special Agent Julian Brooks, FBI. You are being reviewed for possible misuse of law enforcement authority and civil rights violations under color of law. The 2 officers stammered. We were just responding to a non-emergency based on false racial accusations. You harassed a law-abiding citizen on his own property. He turned to Clara. MS. Wayne Scott, you have engaged in targeted harassment and made a false emergency call. If you ever contact my brother again, you'll face legal consequences. She tried to protest, but Julian cut her off. Save it. This matter is closed. His team documented everything. I handed them the audio of Clara yelling. They interviewed me, Clara, and the officers. By the end, Clara looked like she'd melted. Brenner and Castillo looked like they were about to lose their pensions. Julian finally nodded. It's done. You're in the clear. Thanks, man, I said. Don't mention it. That's what brothers are for. Oh, and get cameras. On it. As the SUVs drove off, the cruisers left in silence. Clara remained on the sidewalk, visibly shaken. I stepped onto the porch. Clara, I called. Hope you learned something. Maybe don't call the cops when someone says no. She walked away without a word. Aftermath? Officers Brenner and Castillo were suspended, then fired. Clara became the neighborhood pariah. I got apologies from other neighbors and offers to host Parker's party. I politely declined. Lessons learned. Never underestimate a Karen. Always have an FBI brother. And always invest in a tall fence. I did get those security cameras. Also got to enjoy my horror movie marathon in peace. Later that night, Julian called. Everything quiet? Yeah, I said, sipping whiskey. Peaceful. Good. Next time, maybe just let them use the pool, less paperwork. Not a chance. We laughed. And just like that, the circus was over. At least until the next Karen tries to claim my backyard as public property. Cheers.